Okay, let's hope that this is working. You can see furrowed brow today, because the video keeps on glitching and disappearing again. There we go, I'm turning it down, cool. So I don't know where we are. We're probably still about kind of 6 or 7 seconds delay between what you're seeing here on YouTube and what you will see from the Exit app if you're using that. It is, time check, it is 16:46, which means that we're going to get started in about 14 minutes. So if you are watching this on viewback and you don't want to listen to my ramblings for the next 14 minutes before we start rowing, I suggest zipping on by 14 minutes. If you are watching, like, how many people do we have on right now? So there's 6 people right now. I just started, fair enough. And let me get the chat thing up on here so I can see it. Is that going to work? Who knows? Yeah, so we have 6 people currently waiting, watching, maybe waiting to start the row today. I recommend doing a little bit of light rowing just to kind of warm up, just move up and down. Maybe look at setting up your machine first. You can see today I am on the WaterRower, which means that from a resistance point of view, it's all set. I'm not going to start messing around with water levels at this point in time. I think I've got it set to the recommended, which I think is 17 litres is what I've got in here, although I've not checked it for a while. The other thing to look at is your foot straps. Foot straps. There's a mixture between foot stretchers and foot straps, so I said foot straps. And you want to set them. You can't quite see them because because my computer's in the way. But what you're looking for is the strap to cover the balls of your feet. So often that's kind of like right about the bottom lace of your shoe, maybe a little bit kind of like there-ish. If you find that the strap is kind of covering here, like right up in the higher part of the laces, then what that does is it kind of makes it uncomfortable to come into the front of the machine. As you come in, you get all bound up, and then that quite often is the cause of when you come into the front of the machine, heels coming up, because you're so high up. In order to get the compression, your heels kind of have to come up, and that's one of the things. There's a couple of hey Gavin, how are you? And hey John, hey everybody. Remember to keep really, what does it say? Really quiet, because we're going to hijack British Road. Yeah. Shh. So I'll just talk about this now because we've got 12 minutes. Still got to set up a machine, but whatever. But rewind back a few years ago, and one of the internet rowing people on YouTube, Dark Horse Rowing, put out a video saying when you are rowing, your heels must not leave the foot plates. And because he was, like, at the time one of the only people that was really making video content on how to kind of row, it kind of got viewed by loads of people, and it became like this rule that thou shalt not lift thine heels. And it missed, and he even put up a video a couple of months afterwards, not retracting it, but explaining it and saying that the video was actually about when you first start rowing, and you're looking at the basic cues of how to row, like let's break it down to what you need to know in order to row, in order to kind of get started properly. Then it makes sense to not lift your heels, because there's so many bad technique things that cause the heels to come up. So if you're able to row without your heels coming up, then it's something to focus on when it comes to making sure that your posture is up. It's hard to bit my lip, sorry. Your posture is, because the difference between having, like, if you're tucked under as you're rowing, okay, when you come forwards, so if you're just always leaning back with a really rolled lower back, then, as you come forwards, your heels come up just because of the posture, the angles that's going on here. Whereas if you're sitting up as you come forwards, you can get in and your heels, hang on, I get to vertical there, my heels are, say, 2 fingers high. If I've got slumped and I get to vertical, then 4 fingers high. Okay, does that make sense? So when I've got good posture and I come into my shins in vertical position, it's basically that gap between my heels and the foot plates. And when I've got bad posture, it's that gap, so a lot higher. And heels up isn't particularly a problem, all right? So there's nothing really wrong with having heels up. The problem with having heels up is, it could be a sign of having poor posture, so that's number one. But even if you have a good posture and your heels come way up at the front, what can happen is that your backside escapes from underneath you, okay, like this, as your heels come down, and that is a whole bunch of potential drive length, like how are we here? Hang on. If I go from there to there, that was that. It's about that much drive length that you're missing. And listen, if you're trying to do a 2K and you're trying to shave off as much time as possible, then that much of a drive length is going to make a huge difference, okay? So there's that. There's a, hey, Ronnie's back. Hey, fella. There's also the point of view that if you overcompress, if you kind of go too far in, so shins are way past. In fact, I'm trying to think of a way I can kind of really, you know what I mean by overcompression. What happens then is you're really squashing your muscles, tiring them out really quickly. You're then also risking that kind of butt scoop from underneath you and other kind of problems from the overcompression. You really only need to slide until your shins are in a vertical position. Right, where are we? I'm chatting away and I'm not even connected properly yet. So I think we probably should because I've got 9 minutes. So as you can see, in fact, hang on. Ronnie just says, hey, how's the toilet job? The toilet is holding tight. I had to change the flusher part of the bathroom toilet today because I had a bath last night, my monthly bath, and so I'm just opening up SmartRow while I'm talking to you. And while I was in the bath, it would just sound like somebody was just constantly just peeing into the toilet because the flusher something was busting it. So I had to replace that today. And so far, there are no leaks. He says so far because. Yeah. Anyway, right. So, is that David Palos says, "Hola a todos." John, we are with you. Yay! As we gatecrash the old British rowing folks. So, Just Row app because I'm on the WaterRower today. So the WaterRower has the SmartRow. Did I just call it Just Row app? SmartRow has the SmartRow pulley at the front, so I have to give a little bit of a pull to turn it on. Yep, and it's lighting up blue. So if I then go to settings, SmartRow. I can connect to the SmartRow, and then because I need that in order to broadcast from here to the Mac for Xer. Okay, so I need to set that again. So broadcasting to Xer, apply, and then if I go on to connect Rower, it should pop up SmartRow. Andrew Fielden on live and hearing your DIY activities. Yes, so I went on my Spanish holiday at the beginning of July. Rower data, connect heart rate monitor. I went to went to a house, a villa, and the tap was broken. It wouldn't stop running, so I had to turn the water off. And I got in touch with the owner and said, "Your tap's broken." And they're like, "Oh, can you hang around until whatever date?" And it was like the day that we were leaving to get like a plumber in to fix it. And I said, "Well, no, because I'm not going to hang around here on the last day of my holiday for a tap to get replaced." And said, "But if you tell me where there's a plumber or whatever around, like a hardware store, I'll change it myself." And they actually said yes, idiots. But no. And I did. I changed the tap for them. So hey, there you go. But really cheap. It was like €40 for a really nice tap in this in the Ferrier in the place where we're staying. Only €40. I mean, you go to B&Q here, it's gonna be like 110. Right, where are we? So, ta-da! Oh, look at this. So, got a bunch of people. Hey, remember, if you have the RowAlong kit, there's a whole bunch of people here that have it. If you have the RowAlong kit, then make sure and suit up. Okay, just for today's row, we want to kind of let's see how many RowAlong people that we can have on the water, because I think that's quite funny. Because it's row with British rowing. Still got 5 minutes to go, so we're fine. Right, so heart rate is connected, and it's reading high as always. I don't know why. Row indoor. I'll set my Garmin going as well. There we go. It's the Garmin's going. Hey, CBDB. How do I say that right? Yeah, CBDB. Yeah. Hi all. Looking forward to rowing regularly again. Good. Looking forward to having you back. I don't know whether you've been off through injury or illness or something, or maybe just you got distracted by life, which over the summer is quite easy to be done. What's John saying? The blue bar at the top is showing 5.8 kilometers instead of the usual 30-minute. Right, so yes, you're right. Because it's British rowing, they don't care about the row alongside of things. They just want people to get on and row. So they set it to a lap rather than time. So this is 1 lap of whatever course we're on. I can't remember what one we're on. But I'm still going to row for 30 minutes. you're more than welcome to carry on rowing with me for 30 minutes. You can stop as you hit the 5.8 kilometers if you want. You can keep on going if you haven't quite hit the 5.8 kilometers. It's entirely up to you. So I'm going to keep on going because 5.8 kilometers, I'd probably, even at my, finally on the correct channel, yay, you made it. Even like at my low intensity, I'd be done 5.8 in kind of around about 22 minutes, and I want to have a half-hour workout. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, so does that make sense for everyone that's here? I'll try and remember to say that when I start the row, just to remind people, anyone new that's turned up, that's what we're doing. So yeah, so right, finals were anyone else talks? Just noticed glad to be back after the all clear from physiotherapy. Hey, good to have you back, David Fleming, from a work injury. Oh no, I hope you sue. Right, anybody else? Right, cool. I think I'm caught up on messages. Life and running for CBDB. That's good. I mean, running. I'm still, my running for high rocks, I am still, where are we? 3 minutes, good. Oh, I like the little pink vest top on whoever that is that's 2 to my left. That's quite nice. Yes, I'm still basically, I still can't run slow. I mean, I say, hey, I still can't run slow. That's not the point I'm sadly going through. Is that if I go for like a long plodding run, I end up just, my Achilles goes on me. It must just be just because it's going thump, thump, thump with like 80 kilograms going bonk, bonk, bonk. But if I run at like 13 kilometers an hour or faster, then it doesn't hurt. And I think it's just because literally just momentum's kind of taking me across, and so it's not thumping down on my Achilles. So I'm basically, which is fine because that's like the pace that I run at in high rocks. So that's kind of what I should be training to anyway. But you do want to kind of be training the zone 2 stuff for fitness. Luckily, that's where the rowing comes in for that foundation fitness stuff. But what it means, I'm having to train myself up to be able to kind of run at the 13 kilometers again. So I'm now doing, Friday's session was quite a long warm up to get into it, where I was kind of doing 30 seconds on, 15 off, then 45 on, 15 off, a minute on, 15 off, and then I then doubled, so in a minute on, 2 minute on, and then 4 minutes on, 1 minute off was kind of, so I spent the first 20 minutes building up to it, and then the second 20 minutes was when I did 5 times 4 on, 1 off. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, and just because I'm trying to build stuff up after like not really running since I was in Vegas for January's High Rocks, I'm needing to build up the kind of running thing again. So I'm quite happy that I'm able to run 4 minutes at 13 kilometers an hour, take a minute off, and then kind of do that 4 times. So I could run longer than the 4. I could probably do like my park run 5K at that pace, but I don't want to push it yet. I don't want to do anything that's going to really aggravate my Achilles. Drink. So, a minute to go. So here we go with the normal reminders. If there's a fire alarm, it's not mine, it's probably yours, so get out your house. There's a delay of about 4 seconds between the Exer app and YouTube. So make sure you look at your Exer app if that's what you're rowing on. This is set to a lap rather than time, but I'm going to row for a total of 30 minutes. And I just forgot to hit start on the app. I'm going to start off nice and easy, warm into it, and then I'll probably do the sprints. How well I do the sprints, who knows, but I'll probably do them. So I've not done anything else today. I'm going to do like some high rocks training afterwards, but yeah, so it's today. So we are going to get going in 12 seconds time. So like I said, I'm going to start off nice and easy, and then I'll kind of build up, say after 10 minutes. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Oh, it's always interesting, that first stroke on a different machine. Yeah, I've been on the Concept 2 pretty much solidly. Not really been using anything else for the past couple of months. And so being back on the WaterRower is quite an interesting sensation. The first stroke on any time I change machine, the first stroke's always interesting. So when I'm moving from Concept 2 to WaterRower or to RP3 or my Averon, it's just different, that first one. I don't know why there is a difference. Whether it's I'll put all the name tags back on again. Should I turn them off? Anyway. I don't know why the catch, that kind of connection, the biting point would be different on different machines. Maybe it's the, oops, oh God. Oh, John. Too loose a grip. See when I say have a loose grip on the handle? Not that loose. Right. So, we'll spend a couple of minutes just getting used to rowing and also getting used to, I always forget how quiet the WaterRower is. Maybe next week I'll hook up the RP3. I've been on that for a while, and the difference in volume between the RP3 and a WaterRower is massive. RP3 is a lovely machine, but crikey, it's loud. All these people that complain about how loud a Concept 2 is, try rowing on an RP3. Okay, so it's interesting, I'm hardly looking at my pace. I don't have a monitor in front of me on the WaterRower, so it's just the Exa that I'm seeing it on my phone with the Smart Row app is on the floor, so I'm not looking at that either. And I just seem to have naturally fallen in to around about 203, 204 pace. And what am I? Yeah, 21 strokes a minute. And I do recommend trying to kind of find these natural paces for different stroke rates. I didn't realize Andrew Fielding had lollipops for oars. What if you'll get slower as we go through today's row, as his lollipops get smaller. What was I talking about? Yeah, so like I like to just have a default pace for each stroke rate. So I can sit down, row at 20 strokes a minute and know I'll be pretty consistent with my pace. And then if I increase by 2 strokes a minute, I'll tend to go like 3 seconds faster. Same as I increase to 24, 26. And then when I get all the way up to 32, that's around about my 2K pace. And it's like I can close my eyes and just hit that pace without really kind of aiming for it, if that makes sense. And that's my default training paces for each stroke rate. And then you can learn what it feels like to push your stroke rate. So like if you're trying to do a half-hour time trial at 20 strokes a minute, that means that you're really pushing the power past that default, but you have a parameter to work from. You know how it should feel, so then you know what it feels like when you push too hard. Remember, it is all about legs. If you want to increase your pace, it's about pushing harder with your legs. Yes, you can go fast by using upper body. I'll call you a pal. Do you mind if I call you a pal, Ronnie? But pal Ronnie, who's on here, I know from the High Rocks world. And if you didn't know, there's a Here's Gavin rolling tidings. There's a 1 kilometre row during the High Rocks race, and as well as 1,000 metres, there are also 1,000 different ways to row wrong in High Rocks, and they're all on display on the race floor. Mostly it's people not pushing with their legs. Could possibly be because of everything that's come before in the race. They're resting their legs, but a lack of connection and just pulling is their downfall. Is this a sprint coming up? Yes. How long? 500. I'll take it up a bit here. All right. Don't know if I'll quite call this a sprint, but let's take it up. I'll come back to talk about other stuff in a minute or so. Remember, increase in pace is about pushing harder with the legs, but also stroke rate. So I am pushing my legs harder into the machine to add more power, but I'm also up at 26 strokes per minute because just rowing 6 extra strokes per minute means about 60 meters. Okay, we're almost there. Just take a moment, catch your breath. All right, let's go back to that gentle pace. I mean, if this was a structured workout, if it was like 20 strokes a minute, low intensity for 7 minutes, and then 2 minutes hard, I'd want to get back straight into the low intensity pace and not take that 10 seconds easy. But I'm wanting this to be a tough, but not leaving me on the floor style row today. I've either got something jaggy in my t-shirt or an armpit hair keeps getting caught. Just every time I come forwards I can feel something sore in my armpit. Seeing Andrew there, I want to give a TV recommendation because he suggested to me that I watch Department Q on Netflix, which I saw, I'd been humming and hawing about, kind of like, Don't know if I have the time for a gritty police drama, but trust Andrew's judgment. We tend to kind of like the same movies and shows, and I'm really pleased I took his recommendation. Great series. Some rather over the top Scottish acting. It's like, I'm Scottish and I'm in a TV show. It's a bit, some of the accents are just a bit over the top. But that didn't detract from the series at all. Great program. So thank you, Andrew. Oh, and then an hour ago, I got back from watching the latest Superman film, which is a lot of fun. Tonally different to what you may be used to with the Christopher Reeve or even Henry Cavill versions, but different does not mean bad. Something I have to remind myself of in the day job from time to time is when I'm editing a TV program, you kind of get used to how it is, and then the exec or the commissioners make a change and it's no longer what I had wanted it to be. And so I then have to analyze it and say, like, if I don't like it anyway, do I not like it because it's a poor choice, a poor comment, a poor change, or just because it's different and I preferred the other version? Whew. So yeah, give Superman a chance. Please give Superman a chance. And that then capped off my DIY day where I changed the flusher in the toilet. Dad goals. It's been a good week though. It's been a good 3 weeks to be honest. So I got back from Spain on the 4th of July. And ever since, I've been really strict about training and my nutrition with an aim to not just the High Rocks performance, but also I'm carrying, I'd say, a good 10 pounds more than I really want to be. You can see it down on my love handles. It's just one of these things about being 50. It's harder to shift that stubborn fat. If I was 20 or 30, it would just fall off me. But now, it takes a lot of work. Right, 250. Let's do this one too. 2 more strokes. 1 more. Let's go. So be just under a minute. So again, you'll see stroke rate is now up to 30. Shorter sprint means I can go a little faster stroke rate wise without blowing up. And ideally, if this was a all-out sprint, I'd be nudging 40. 2 more. But I've still got 14 minutes to row in this workout. So there isn't much value in going all out and then having to limp all the way home. So I'm not really, and this is something I advise for you as well, right now I'm not really getting hung up on numbers when it comes to my weight loss, especially because I'm doing quite a lot of resistance training and hopefully adding muscle. So with any luck, for every 100 grams of fat that I burn, I'm also adding 100 grams of muscle. So weight, I think I was 82.5 when I got back from Spain, kilograms. And then last time I weighed myself, I think was Thursday. I was 81.5. So that's 2 pounds, 1 kilogram. But the real sign that it's working is that the shorts that I was wearing when I was in Spain, I put them on yesterday, went into Glasgow for some tapas to celebrate my wife getting a new job. She got made redundant a couple of months ago, but she managed to get a new job, found out on Wednesday. So we went out yesterday, celebration tapas. I was wearing the same shorts, and they kept on falling down. And this is after, this is like freshly washed, when they would normally be tighter. So even though the numbers on the scale say quite a modest change, is that the right word? Modest? Small. 1 kilogram. I've lost a lot more when it comes to fat, or at least in terms of my waist size. So don't get, if you're on a similar journey, don't get caught just looking at the scales. Find other ways. How do you look in the mirror? Maybe take waist measurements, measure your biceps, your quads, and use that alongside. I mean, my scales do have body fat and muscle percentage readouts, but I've not actually used them. Maybe we should do that tomorrow. But what I've noticed this time round is that I couldn't do the 16:8 fast that I've done in previous years and continue training. I would just always get to Wednesday or Thursday and have a massive energy dump, even if I was still taking in the right amount of calories. So I really try and stay about 300 calories in deficit, which means from a BMR point of view, about 2100 calories plus any exercise offset. So if I exercise for 700 calories, I'll eat like 600 to make up for it. So I don't trust the calorie outputs. Although 300 calories for 22 minutes, I'd expect, so this isn't bad. So yeah, so even if I ate the right amount with a 16-8 fast, it's just, I couldn't continue training. So I'm back to having a slice of toast and 20 grams of whole earth peanut butter at like 10 o'clock in the morning now. But yeah, so hitting 400 calories deficit means about, what, 2,500, 3,000 a week, which pretty much chimes in with my 1 kilogram loss when you think about it. But importantly, it means that I can continue to train, because there's no point just closing my eyes and hoping for the best. Sure, sometimes you get lucky, but you need to put in the work, the research, be sensible. And that means not going max in every session. Oh, get pipped by Bjorn. So, is my window going to say, yeah, so I'm going to go to row on. Where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? Oh, come on, there you are. Sorry, folks. Come on, row on. There we go. Sorry, Andrew, if you had to wait for me there. So we've got just over 6 minutes left. Whew. And the reason I'm talking about stuff like my weight loss journey and whatever is that I want you to think about your world. Why are you exercising? Why are you here? What are you doing with your life? That Twisted Sister. What are you doing with your life? It's that news about Ozzy Osbourne, wasn't it? I mean, not particularly surprising, but it's incredible how human spirit, you have to just figure he willed himself to stay alive until his last concert, and then with that over and done with and retiring, it's almost like he gave his body permission, whereas before his body did not have permission. Yeah, anyway, what was I on about? Yeah, so set some kind of a goal. That could be that you want to row 6 kilometers in half an hour. You want to build up fitness and strength. Maybe you want to do 8 kilometers in an hour. Who knows what your current ability is, but you get what I mean. Or maybe like me, you've got a bunch of goals. I want to improve my rowing performance. I want to improve my body composition. I want to improve my high rocks races, especially as at the end of October, I'm doing a pro doubles. And that means pushing, pulling, and carrying a lot more weight than you do in the open. So that takes a lot of determination, training, discipline, but also being kind to yourself. So I could easily, yesterday, when we were talking about going out for celebration tapas, I could have said, or I'll just have something sensible. But I knew that having had 3 weeks eating very restricted, my body would actually welcome a refeed. But more importantly, my brain welcomes that kind of break, because you don't want to suffer. Whether it's your diet or your workout, whatever it is, if you suffer, and by suffer I mean you're not enjoying it, you can suffer through like a 8x500 row or a Tabata row, but love it, really. But if you're on a healthy eating plan and you hate it, you're not going to stick to it. So I figured 3 weeks in, I can have a refeed, enjoy myself, join the family. Sure, it probably undid the 2 previous days' calorie deficit, but I have given myself like 10 more weeks to lose 10 pounds. So it's not like going back just a couple of days is going to totally derail me. Unless, of course, you're the type of person who has a all or nothing mentality, type of person who slips up and then goes, oh well, that's it, that didn't work. And then you're buying cheeseburgers for the next 10 weeks. But I knew what I was doing. I knew I was taking one day for mental strength and to refeed my body, stop it plateauing, stop it adapting, stop it going into starvation mode. Oh, one more stroke. I'm not gonna continue for this sprint, I'm afraid, Andrew, sorry. As they say here in Glasgow, go on your cell, big guy. Oh, sweaty one today, still warm outside. Whew. Right, where are we? Oh, 30-minute row after 7 weeks off was rough. It would be, I hope you took it sensibly there, David. Going to utilise 30 to 30 rows to get back up to speed. Good idea. just pay real attention to the low intensity stuff. Really keep that low, let your body recover. Use it to get your technique back, to get your flow back, to give you time to kind of go, right, here we are, and then you can hit the other two as hard as you need to, okay? But really don't push the low stuff. Your next hit 141 during the last 150 meters. I think that's the fastest I've ever done. Not bad for an old codger. Not bad at all, sir. So there you go. That was a fun 5 o'clock row. I think there's a whole bunch of us from RowAlong on there, so that's nice to see. So they do this every Sunday, every last Sunday of the month. British Rowing Takeover. So I assume it's mostly the 5 o'clock one. I think eventually it'll flip. I think days-wise it'll eventually every 3 months or something it might flip and suddenly become the 9 in the morning one, because it's just the last Sunday. So yeah, I think whatever. So next time at the end of August when they're doing this again, let's make sure we're all here with our RowAlong kit on, and we can show them who's boss. Remember, you unlock the RowAlong kit by doing the RowAlong workouts or the RowAlong group rows on here. I think if you do 2 of them, that then unlocks the RowAlong kit, so you're able to use it that way. So listen, this app's great. I'm making a video right now about how good this app is, just things like that, like unlocking kit and stuff. So where are we? Oh, Gavin Rowland. Thanks for a great row, John. Thoroughly enjoyed as always. Interesting goal chat as well. I need to hire you as my sports psychologist. If I could do as I say, not as I do, unfortunately. But yeah, just set a goal, stick to it, and then, it has to be measurable. And what's the thing? Smart, measurable and achievable, realistic, and what's T again? Timely? Is that like time managed? I think it's a T, so what's the S then? Can't remember. I literally just finished getting my personal trainer certification as well, and I can't remember what the 5 letters for SMART are. That's ironic. But yeah, you want to make sure it's something you can measure. Whether it's just tangible by looking in the mirror, like I say, or whether it's like doing a 10K or a 5K. I'm going to be doing. I think either September I'm going to start running the plan again on on Training Amigos. I don't know. I thought I'll probably do the 5K plan again, just in case anyone wants to jump into that. And I might speak to Exer and see if I can get it loaded onto here as a training plan. We keep on talking about doing that, but it's a hiccup. Anyway, sorry. Right, I'm waffling. Looks like, I was going to say look at the stroke rate of that S Langer, but I think it must have been a glitch in the system because it was like doof, doof. Okay, so CBDB can get the last words. Got me on the rower, yay. Somehow I lost the rowing plot for a few weeks, thanks. You know what? Listen, life running is part of getting in the way. Sometimes you just need to get away from rowing. Sometimes, there is something about this machine that is amazing, incredible. It really does do lovely things for you, but also you're literally strapped into something and you've just got your monitor or your software, whatever, to kind of look at and things, and it can be really quite kind of mentally taxing just because of everything that you go through. So sometimes you just need to take a break. So like my 2 weeks that I had in Spain, it was really important because I was at the David Palace. I was able to take a break for a couple of weeks and not think about rowing. So I think it's mental, unless you're actually training for the Olympics or something like that. And even then, like back in I'll make this last thing I say, but back when I was kind of racing properly, kind of like 2013 through 18, everything was about rowing. It was always hyper focused, and I'd be like training constantly, and like things like 1K training is just. I remember Sam, who was my coach at the time, saying you don't want to do too many 1K plans in succession because they're just so they just destroy you. You need to kind of release. So this is why a lot of the plans I have on the YouTube channel, I have like the 5K, the 1K, the 500 and all that stuff. But then I also have just a series of rows, like the time to shine is the one I'm uploading right now. And it's just a bunch of rows that are still good for you, but there's no performance goal to it. And I think sometimes disengaging your brain from performance is a good thing. So anyway, right, I lied. Sarah B is going to get the last one. Good row. I will be bragging all day how you didn't pass me. Of course, I started behind you. Very clever. Right. Thank you so much, everybody, for turning up for this 5 o'clock row. Next week, we're 9 o'clock in the morning UK time, so that's what, +1. There's Ronnie. +1 in Europe, or -5, I think, in New York. So sorry, you folks. Maybe if you're in Vegas, that's what, 10 hours before, that's like 11 o'clock at night. Yeah, why not? All right, so everybody have a fantastic week that's coming up. Look after yourselves, whatever you're doing. If you're on holiday, then enjoy your holiday. If you're at work, enjoy your work. If you're just at home, enjoy being at home. Make sure after your row today, go have something to eat, something to drink, have a shower. You're probably perspiring a little bit like me. And of course, tell someone you love them, whether it's someone you live with, whether it's over the phone, whether it's your pet, whether it's, I don't know, just tell someone you love them. I think it's important. And I will see you all next time. So I'm trying to find where my broadcasting software is. There we go. Cool. Right. So I will see you all next Sunday morning. Until then, please look after yourselves. Row well. Be well. Bye-bye.